We're right there. That's where we start.
That's where we're starting.
Oh, I'm cold.
So we're on. We're live.
We are. You're gonna want to make sure your
I'm
sound is
trying.
down.
Okay, so my sound looks pretty good. What did you say about the sound?
We're right there. That's where we start.
Okay, I've got to. Oh, this sound has to be down. Ooh. So we're on. We're live. There, my sound's off.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Somebody might be there. I can't find my cursor. Here it is. I want that gone. So let's see. We're here. People always ask about my Cougar. So there's the Cougar engine behind us. Maybe we'll have some more pictures of the Cougar. Anybody there? Anybody there? Yeah, I don't know how many are there. Where does it show how many people are there? I see Mexican Spec is there.
Oh, I forget where it says that stuff.
Oh, we really got a lot of studio stuff set up now, a whole lot better than what we did a week ago. And some of it we're still trying to figure it out a little bit. It says 3 watching.
Oh, you know what? There was
What do you want to? We really don't have a subject. What are you doing? I don't know what we're doing.
There was some kind of things that popped up before.
I'm here. Bird. Don't see anybody else. Yeah, it says here 4 watching, so I don't know. Mexican Spec. Somebody's there, but they're not saying anything. People always ask about the Cougar, so I got some pictures of the Cougar, and oh, John Wilburn, cool.
Okay, here, wait.
And then you're gonna bring up the other picture of the
This one?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's the one. Man, that's 2 pictures of me, if you can believe it. One where I think I'm 24 years old, and the other one where I'm live and I'm 70 years old. I've been 24 and I've been 70. 24 was better. One-eyed cat, yeah, I'm here. Well, good to see you. So anyway, there's the Cougar. I can bring up, I think I have I have some more pictures. And where's the other picture of the Cougar oh, this one. Oh, Dean Stevenson, somebody from down under. Cool. I see you gave Kim, yeah, SXN 128 black plate. You know what? There were blue plates and black plates then, but yeah, there were so many black plates still then. And that's when I was living in California. Yeah, Dean, I see you gave Kim a half a kiwi in her channel. Okay, Kim, there's where is it? Oh, there's that one to bring up as well. We got a lot of screens and a lot of stuff here, so there. That's also me on the right. And on the left is a friend of mine, Paul. He was probably about 19 then. I was probably 24. And that's the front of the Cougar. It's a 67 Cougar. And it had a 289 and a C4 in it. Had a girlfriend at the time. And she was driving around and the oil pressure sending unit was leaking and she completely ran it out of oil and destroyed the engine. And then
Darn girlfriends.
Then I had that Chevy and I built it and I put a 4-speed in it, but the clutch linkage was a nightmare. So I pulled it out and put a Turbo 400 in it. 556 gears. So it almost didn't matter what gear you're in. It just burned the tires. It was fun. Iceman, good to see you.
You missed One-Eyed Cat, too.
I didn't. I said hi to One-Eyed Cat.
What's One-Eyed Cat's first name?
One-Eyed Cat is Don. Isn't he Don? Don. The plate on our 68 Galaxy was WAB, W-A-B, so the S had to be 67. Yeah, I bought that off a used car lot. Man, that Cougar, it was like a 50 or 60,000 mile car.
Hey, Tom.
I bought it in, when did I buy that? I bought it in 1975. And I drove it around for quite a while with a 289 and the C4 in it. but I paid $1,200 for it, which at the time was about right for a used Cougar. It was a nice car. And then the engine got destroyed, so.
I like the other picture because you can see the car good.
Yeah, and you see, I was talking about that center. Mexican Spec will know this. In the center of that grill, there's like a little opening that has the Mercury logo in it. I didn't like that, so I got that out, welded it in, and bonded it, and so it's just like a little grill divider instead of instead of that little tiny grill in there. It was above 30 today. I forget where you are. Iceman, probably somewhere where it's cold. It was above 60 today here. It was like 65 here. I don't know what it is now. It's probably going to cool off tonight, but not real bad.
It says it's 51 and clear.
It's 51 and clear. Okay. So, nice day in Tennessee. Sunny and, our cat is just a cat that lives outside. We got to check these Pennsylvanians. Oh, I see. This cat is just sort of a stray that showed up, and I've been feeding. It's like a not very friendly cat, but she likes it when I bring food out there. But I built her a little box that has heat in it, and so most of the time she's in there. Well, today, she was up on top of the box in the sun. So I know it's warm if the cat's out there in the sun. Grill house is what that's called. Grill house. Oh, that little thing in the center? I don't know. South Bend, Indiana. Oh, yeah, that's right. Hit 50 there. South Bend, you're not real far from us. So Indiana's kind of adjacent to Tennessee. And we're in the middle Tennessee, but we're in almost Kentucky. We're in the northern part of middle Tennessee. We're basically Clarksville. We're out south of Clarksville, a little bit out in the middle of hillbilly territory, where there's a few houses here and there and a lot of cows. Kim, what about this prop we have?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's...
we have this prop. Okay.
It's not really a prop, like it's a thing.
It's a thing. What is this thing? Oh, it's got green on it.
It's our Pokemon.
This is a dinosaur egg.
Dinosaur egg?
Is it? I don't know what it is.
It is a dinosaur egg.
Are you gonna go? You gonna go to the dino room?
The dino room. That's right. See?
We have.
Pyramid Mom.
Kim came up with this.
Go to the dino room.
We're going to the dino room. Lot Burns. How you doing? Oh, it's 22 up there. 22 Fahrenheit. Up there in New York. I've been up to his place, and it's. Yeah, there we are, in the dino room.
In the dino room.
The dino room.
We're going to start our own dino.
With a dino egg. Well, this is actually some kind of melon, and it's called a dino melon. Because it looks like a dinosaur egg. It actually is called that because of that. I don't want it to roll off the table. We're going to have to eat that later.
No, we're not eating it. We're going to hatch it.
We're going to hatch it?
And you then think there's our own dino.
You expect a dinosaur instead of seeds? I expect seeds, but there could be a dinosaur.
What are you talking about, dinosaur?
Hello, coconut, 6% recycled.
We're going to hatch a dino, and then we're going to hook our engines to it.
Yeah,
and then
see
we'll run
here.
them on the dino.
Probably 8 to 10 hours drive. No, I'm not sure about your place. Lot Burns, see, I was working in Maryland, so I drove up to his place from Maryland. So I drove up there. It was a pretty good drive. I drove the Jeep up there and picked up. He gave me an all apart but clean 318 poly, and I brought it back to Maryland. I did that all in one trip. So I left in the morning one day, and I got back pretty early morning the next day. It was starting to get light, and I was tired, but it was that was a pretty good drive. And then from Maryland to here, how long is it? It's like 12 hours from where I worked in Maryland to here. So.
Yeah, we do have some. That's why I made him change into a red shirt, because there is some transparency that happens there with the green melon.
I had a green shirt on. We have.
See, wait. There's a way that we could do this so you could actually see us.
So yeah, there's a green screen. So that when I had a green shirt on, I just disappeared. I just looked like a neck and a head. So she goes, you got to change your shirt. So I changed my shirt.
I mean, we worked really hard this week. We have a big TV right there standing on its side.
Yeah, 55-inch TV on its side with the chat, so I can see that real well.
We can't see at distance. And then we have the streaming software on this screen. And then I have a duplicate. Well, he has his laptop over there. And then I have
1, 2, 3.
He has
5 screens.
Yeah,
it looks
he has
like
a screen.
studio.
He can glide it over there, and I can capture it so that I can see what's on his screen. That's how we can see what's on his screen right now, and then I can put us.
Okay, let's see what Dean said. If I use the university field continuity method of high frequency voltage around my car, it will cause and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia 320-mile transfer. What? I'm lost.
I think it's some kind of inside joke. It's Always Sunny is a TV show, so it must be some kind of joke.
That thing looks translucent in front of the green screen. Yeah, it does.
Hello, Busted Radio.
What's Mexican Spec saying? A Mercedes, Kim?
6% recycled. Welcome to the chat.
What's Mexican Spec saying about a Mercedes? What's up, Kim Crew? Yeah, Busted Radio Garage. Hello. I'm behind on the chat a little bit.
Mexican Spec was talking about the Lost Fire.
Oh, the Lost Fire.
Okay, I'll bring it up.
It's a crossfire, but she calls it the Lost Fire. She bought that thing. I went out there with her to get it. There was so much melted plastic inside we couldn't get it out of park. So we couldn't get it. We couldn't even push it because it was in park. So she got in there with pry bars and broke all the plastic.
We had a title, but we didn't have a key because the key was melted into oblivion. So it wasn't in the ignition. So it was gone. So I had to bash the column apart so I could get it so we could steer it. And then we also had to bash all the plastic off of the shifter so we could get it into neutral. And he was like, what are we doing here? But I got the car for they took the exhaust off the car and then they didn't know what else to do with it. But I got it with wheels and the rear end and the engine and transmission all the top of the engine's all melted.
Yeah, Danny Boy says it looks more like a fire lost. She calls it the Lost Fire.
Yeah,
But if you watch her channel, she took that whole rear end out of there, and it's a little wider than the Dart, 5 inches wider than the Dart. So she narrowed that whole carriage, and then I narrowed the axles, and she put it all back together last night. I don't think you have a video up of the. Do you have a video of it going together?
I just put that video up yesterday.
Okay, so she's got the video up of it going back together, and her plan is to put that rear end, the independent suspension, under the 66 Dart. And then so it'll have disc brakes and everything, and then we'll put the disc brakes up front on the Dart, but leave the original torsion bar suspension up there because that's pretty good. So it'll have 4-wheel disc brakes, 4-wheel independent suspension on 66 Dart, and I think that'll be a pretty interesting project. I would rather have the Chevy van behind your Cougar. That was a 65 Chevy van. My father bought it new, drove it for 10 years, and then I bought it for my father and mother, and then I put an interior in it. That's back when everybody had vans. So, picture Crossfire. It is a Mercedes underneath, but it's registered as a Chrysler. You know that story.
It's a 2005, and it is I think they came out with them in 2004, and in 2004 Mercedes came out with a new model. So Chrysler took the old model and made it into their Crossfire with a little bit of body changes.
I'll say this. Chrysler made about the ugliest car they could have out of a good-looking car. Because I think the Mercedes was a pretty nice-looking car, and I think the Crossfire is. What was his name? Who's the guy on Top Gear?
I don't know which guy it was.
The guy we always watch. The guy with the farm.
I
can't think of his name.
Right.
He says the Crossfire looks like a dog out in the field doing number 2. I have to agree. Mexicana Maxima. I want a van so bad. We have 2 vans. We have Kim's van, which has windows that were somebody added them. It's like a camper window van, but it's got a low top. And mine is the long van with no windows. Well, it's got windows on the right side on the doors, but the rest of it is non-windows. And I don't know what we're going to do with it. I may make a camper out of it. I don't know. It's there. We don't need 2 vans. Okay, that's some cool hot rod stuff. Remember when everyone used to do Jag IR? Oh, I do remember that. And they had inboard disc brakes. What's that gear ratio from the Crossfire? Kim,
So,
do you know?
because it is a naturally aspirated with an automatic transmission, I believe it to be a 323 gear ratio, which should work great in the Dart. Actually, it'll be a little bit quicker than what's in the Dart now, and since I don't drive it on the highway a lot, it'll be great in there. And I think the turbo model has like a 290 series of some sort. I don't know how all the gear ratios work, but and as far as transmission problems, Mexican spec, the only problems I see with the used Crossfires on the like resale market here, it seems to be electronic problems with computers and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe it hides the transmission problems, but that seems to be what people run into is the electronics crap out when they get older.
Well, and that Lost Fire up there, the engine compartment's also burned, but I think the engine underneath the burn stuff is okay. But we don't really plan on using that engine transmission. I don't know. She may. I don't know what we're.
If I could sell it, or if I find something, every once in a while I'll see a Mercedes, the 320 series from like 99, 2000 is the same engine transmission. So if I ever see one with a bad transmission or a bad short block, like dirt cheap, I might think about it, but I've got so many projects.
I spent it. Jeremy Clarkson. He's right. Jeremy Clarkson. Yeah.
We like watching him. He has on Netflix. He has a show where he farms, and I don't think they have any new ones. But no, we never watched the.
We haven't watched the second season, so we
watched like 2 seasons of that. And we really liked it.
Yeah, that's almost better than his Top Gear show. His farming, because he's a pretty bizarre character. So it's you can imagine.
He's fun. He's got a good.
Somebody here said they thought we made a lot of YouTube money, and that's why we have all these screens and everything. Okay, my laptop is one Kim donated to me. It's an old one, and it's taped together with painter's tape, and one corner is dark. So that's my laptop right now. The 55-inch TV, we have it tipped on its side that has the chat on it. My former wife bought that new and left it here almost 4 years ago, and I've asked her over and over and over, do you want it? Do you want it? Come get it. She's come by here before. She's got it's a brand new TV that she bought. So we brought it in here, turned it on its side, and we're using it. The other one is our living room TV that we never watch TV, so now it's a monitor. And then we have a good monitor down here, and Kim's good monitor here. So, yeah, we got some good stuff.
I mean, we have all these screens. Nobody watches TV anymore.
We don't.
Like,
I have a TV in my bedroom. I have a 40-inch TV in my bedroom. I haven't had it on in almost a year. And I woke up one morning and turned it on, and Leave It to Beaver was on, and I watched the rest of that show and turned it off. So that TV has operated for about 20 minutes in the last year. So, yeah. Put a slant 6 and conventional axle in the Lost Fire.
I would totally do it
backwards.
That,
do it backwards.
But not this one. Not this one, because it is so burned up inside. Like, It was a convertible, so the top is gone. The seats are gone.
Well, here.
All the plastic.
I think I have.
A picture with the inside. All the plastic.
Here.
The dash. I mean, it's burned up.
If I just zoom
just
this
make
up.
it big. I can bring it up on the screen.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There's the...
Zoom in one more.
It's Oh, this is nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's all burned up.
She was in there with hammers and pry bars and a hacksaw blade and just to get it out of park so we could push it. And then it didn't steer because the column was locked. Somehow she got it enough. We dragged it up on a trailer with a winch. All
the sheet metal up front, it's all warped and bare. The paint's all burned off of it. It's just it's so awful to work. You work it, your hands turn completely black, and it smells like burned chemicals. So the thin steering wheel. I think it still has the airbag didn't go off in the fire, so
You gotta be kidding.
yeah, sometime we got to see if
Oh,
we can figure out how to trigger that airbag. That'd be a fun video.
I watched some Russian guys, and they had 2 tires, and they put an airbag in there, and they're all drunk, of course, because they're Russians. And they had one of the mechanics go in there and set on the tire, and they set that airbag off, and it pushed him into the roof of the shop and broke his neck.
Holy
Bunch of idiots. I couldn't believe when I saw that. Well, because they're drunk, you know.
Yeah, it was an engine fire. They told us that the previous owner was charging the battery.
The battery charger, something got away when they're charging the battery, and
All the
that
wiring
happened.
was burned up, and the heat came up under the hood and busted the windshield and then just burned into the interior of the car.
Yeah, engine fire. Let's see. I hate these new thick steering wheels on all the newer stuff. Yeah, you know, I don't mind the thicker steering wheels when that's actually part of the steering wheel. What I really dislike are those covers that go on that are ridiculous. You know, that stretch those crazy covers on there. I don't like those things at all. And then I had a 67 Pontiac Bonneville Catalina. I think it was a Catalina. Steering wheel was real thin, and that was pleasant car to drive. I remember those.
Hot Rod Garage, it
I
is
see
a
people-
crispy critter. We have scavenged some excellent, the fuel pump, and they're not cheap. The factory German fuel pump, brand new. The car only had 43,000 miles on it, so minimal wear and tear on the parts that I am able to scavenge. So
I don't like steering wheel covers. I hate them. The only ones I like, the old ones, like in the early 70s, they had one you put on, and then it had a thing that wrapped all around and made it just a little bit squishy, but they weren't real thick, so you really didn't notice the thickness too much. I had one of those on my 64 Ford, and I don't know, it's the same color as the interior, so it really didn't show up much. But I don't like those big, thick things.
I drove one once. I never drove one. This one was not drivable. We trailered it.
There's a friend of mine, a Filipino lady, and she had, what the heck car she had? She bought a Nissan, some little Nissan car, and she always had me over to like fix stuff in her house, and then she'd make me dinner or something. So she has this steering wheel cover. It's got like big, long, pink hairs all over it. She wanted me to put that on her car, and it was hard. I got it on there, but man, that thing's like this wide. And it's got all this pink hair hanging from it. I don't know how she can drive that thing, but she likes it. I have one on my Durango that says Orange County Choppers. Tells you how old it is. What else are we doing here? The Lost Fire. I don't know, what other pictures do I have that I can show? Of course, the other one is our yard. Where is it?
I know Mexican spec. People ask all kinds of crazy prices for stuff, and especially stuff they don't want to get rid of.
That's the back of our shop in the yard, but you have to do something to make that show up. I don't know how to do that. Kim.
Oh! More stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Yeah,
There it is.
that is.
I'll be right back.
That you'll be right back. Okay, That is the Lost Fire in the back of our shop, and some of Kim's projects back there. It's a bunch of Dodge pickups, or I guess they're not Dodges anymore. They're Ram pickups. Crispy but minty fresh parts. Oh, the underside of it was fine. My steering wheel cover outlasted OCC. Yeah, I think they're still going, but they're just not on TV anymore. I know what they asked for: Mopar rim blow wheels. Oh, the rim blow wheels. My father bought a new car, a new Ford in 1970, and I was sitting in the showroom. I was 16 years old, sitting in the showroom.
Tell them.
Are you an A&P? No, I am. The certification I have is I'm a 7-level jet engine mechanic in the Air Force, which is similar to the P part of A&P. But really, I started doing design work on aircraft. So really, for 30 years, I designed airplanes from ground up. And I worked for a guy that would say, I want this, and I want a chromoly tube fuselage and aluminum wings or whatever, and this size airplane, and I'd go after it. And he was always pretty happy with my work. And so I did that stuff. And then for 15 years, I worked with a defense contractor, worked for the Navy for quite a while with a defense contractor, and I was an instructor on UAVs for Marine Corps and the Air Force and the Navy. And later, I worked on one that was Army for probably 5 or 6 years. So I worked for all the services as a contractor, but I was there I was doing design work and a lot of R&D stuff. We'd get an airplane that didn't fly right, and they'd kind of make it my job to see if we could fix it and make it work. And we were able to do that sometimes. We had some pretty good airplanes that were they were almost right when we got them. And between flight testing and making some changes, we made them into good airplanes. So that's the kind of stuff I did. And then I also worked as a technician, instructor. You get a new airplane, UAV, unmanned stuff, drone, whatever you want to call it, and then you got to train people to fly it and people to maintain it, and I did some of that. But anyway, I really can't talk more about it than that. I can't get into real specifics about it. The rim blow didn't work well. What are you handing me?
Plug my phone in and I took about 8 pictures out in the yard, so we can go through all the different projects that we're working on. And
I think there's not another.
No, you got to unplug.
I got to unplug mine. I shouldn't do that, but I did it. Where does this thing go? Okay, I'm not reading. I should be reading, and I'm messing with plugs and things. Let's see here. Orange County Chapter's my neighbor here in Newburgh. Oh, yes. Then they moved to my hometown in St. Petersburg, Florida. I still see Joni about once a year. They're in big debt here in New York. I saw that building they built. Man. They've had a lot of legal problems too much drama. Yeah, and when you read on the internet, there's people like to make it into more drama than it is, and maybe it isn't as bad as it looks on the internet. Working on old cars must be easy. Working on old cars is what I did before I went in the Air Force. And then after I got out of the Air Force, I got off active duty and I spent quite a bit of time in the reserves, but I had radiator shops then, so I worked on cars a lot. And that's when I did the Cougar, and I had a Fairmont wagon that was fast. I had a Fairmont Futura that was, the Futura was the one that was really fast. And then I got into the aircraft again, and just, then life got in the way, and I didn't do any cars for a long time. I had old junk cars that ran enough I could get back and forth to work. It's okay if planes fly left all the time. This guy, 1943 was awkward. Kim, it didn't go by you getting all nice stuff. She's looking nice, isn't she? You see that? See Iceman?
I did get dolled up for the live.
Do you have your contacts in?
Yeah.
See, that looks good. She almost always wears the glasses.
Will you press enter for me?
Enter. Nothing happened.
Don't worry, it entered. Good.
Okay, so she almost always wears her glasses, which makes sense because in the shop, you're hammering and welding and chips of hot metal flying around and everything, and both of us got hit in the face, and it's not pleasant when that happens.
Well, we were looking last July when I was porting. I got some garbage in my eye.
She did this whole thing on my channel about porting the head that was a whole story that night. And she was talking about wearing goggles or face shield or something and making sure you don't get any chips in your eye and everything. And she managed to do that, got home, had all the safety glasses off, got something in her eye. And I think it fell out of her hair or something, and a little chip in her eye, which was turned into something really difficult. Oh, you got all kinds of stuff here.
Just pictures of all the different projects and stuff.
What is this one? What is that? I'm gonna click on it, but I don't.
Oh, that's just firewood. That's all those trees we cut down, but no one cares about.
No, nobody cares about.
Oh, show them the flowers. You'll see the yellow.
Flowers?
Yeah, check out our spring flowers are already growing.
This is from today?
Yeah.
But it doesn't work. Where's this move? Oh, that's
Check that out.
already spring?
It's already spring here in Clarksville.
You had to make a U.S. Fairmont fast. They came that way. Oh, no, I built a 302, and it was quick. And I drove that car for quite a while, and then I got a 78 Fairmont wagon, and then I got a 79 Futura that was crashed in the right front. So I fixed the right front, and it had a 4-cylinder Pinto engine in it. You drove it and knock, 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 and I drove it like that for quite a while. And then one day I had enough, and I pulled the 4-cylinder, the Pinto 2300 out, and it had one of the skirts from a piston was down in the pan. So the bottom ringlet is broken right below the oil ring. So that piston was in there going, and I drove it like probably 20,000 miles like that. Well, then I put the 302 in that and built a C4, so it shifted, bam, bam, bam. It was nice. It was not real harsh, but it was good. And then I started breaking rear suspension parts, and I had to put I broke some grade 8 bolts in the rear suspension, and I had to struggle with that. I think I ended up using some, I think they're grade 9, the socket head cap screws back there. See, we cut up the gauze wire for the copper content. No more. I don't know what that is. The groundhog was right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It started warming up last week, and then it got cold again. It was down in the 20s, and now today it was 60s. It was nice. Okay, I don't want to look at flowers anymore.
Okay.
Let's look at some of your projects. This thing. Kim bought that with a bad engine in it.
Well, I bought it. It was a basket case.
Oh, that's what it was.
It came all the parts. Distributor. Well, no. Then we robbed the carburetor off of it. Although the carburetor wasn't hooked to anything, it was just sitting there, so they had never run it. No brakes, flat tires. What else did we do to it? We did a lot to it.
What is a notch Capri? A notch Capri. What's that? Like a notchback
Mustang, basically.
Mustang, Fox Body Mustang, only it looks like a Capri, or is it the German one? I don't know. There's the early German Capri, too, which is... What rear end did the Fairmont use? Smaller than the 8.8. What the heck did I don't know. It was a V8 Fairmont. Oh, and then the other one. Yeah, that's the other thing. I had to swap that rear end out because it had a 4-cylinder in it, so it had a small rear end. But I just used everything out of the wagon. Which engine? 2.8 or 2.9? What is that? 2.8?
It's the 2.8, which so it has a distributor, not fuel injection, but something's warped. I took it apart. I put new head gaskets in, put it all back together, and it still just blows coolant right away. So, and I thought I had sort of inspected the surfaces, but I didn't very well. And I just figured, like, YOLO, let's see if it works. Well, no, they must have run it without coolant for a long time, and it's all warped. So.
Oh, okay. Next inspect, so yeah, it's a Fox coupe. Yeah, and they use the Capri nose. It's really weird because they use a Capri nose, but the sides don't look all pooched out like a Capri. It's a pretty good looking car, I guess. Although I think I like my favorite of the Fox bodies was the 83 and 84 with that little nose. I really like the early Fox body Mustangs, and I like that's the other thing I used to do, the Fairmonts, is I put the Mustang dash in them because they have all the gauges and they go right in. They just go in, and you got to do a little wiring, but those Bronco 2s are bringing good money in good condition. I don't know why. Oh, maybe he's right.
Well, I know why they bring good money in good condition. Have you seen what a new Bronco costs? They are expensive. So if you can get a good used one, but this one's not a good used one. It's rough. I thought I got it really, really cheap, but it's not worth putting the money in. Like, I'll never get it back out at this point. I've already put too much time and money into it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Right now, it's parked down below the swimming pool. That is like the parking spot of shame for the moment.
They use the Capri grill and hood, but the thinner Mustang fenders, which makes it look really good because the Capri, I don't like that fat-looking Capri pooched out fenders. So, yeah, I don't know. Mexico, I've learned so much from Mexican Spec with his Instagram. I mean, if you got Instagram, go in there and find Mexican Spec. You'll see a lot of cars. Oh, that's something else I wanted to ask you about. AMC. Down there, they call it, it's VAM. Is that VAM? Is it VAM? Is it VOM? How do you pronounce that? But I love AMC cars. After about 1963 or 4, when I can't think of his name, but the new designer came in to AMC and did all the the Matadors and the Javelins and the AMXs and all that stuff. They had just wonderful cars, and they have torque flight. Mine had a torque flight in it. I think I don't know. You probably put a 383 Chrysler in. It'd probably be a fun car. VAM, yeah, but how do you pronounce it? VAM? VOM? VAM? I don't know. Of course, I can't hear him, so I don't know how he's going to tell us. Okay, so that car, Dick Teague, that's who I was thinking of, Dick Teague. Dick Teague was great. The Ramblers and the AMCs, like 62 and earlier. Man, I don't know what they were thinking. But Dick Teague changed AMC, and he was like a one-man band. He really did some good work. And then his last real work was the AMX3, which I think they only built 4 or 5 of them. And then his son had made molds, and they were going to sell kit cars of the AMX3, but I don't know, his son died, and the whole project just fell apart. I had more fun with my 72 Gremlin 390. Man, I had a friend, that whole Cougar started off because I had a friend that had a 72, could have been a 71, early Gremlin, had a 429 Ford with a tunnel ram, and 556 gears and a C6 automatic, and that thing was fast. So that's really why I built the Cougar, because then he and I were out running around these stupid cars that had just burned tires. Although he put a big set of slicks on his, I don't know, he got them under the wheel wells. I don't know how, but he went out. He turned real close to 12 flat. He was in the real low 12s with that thing, with that Gremlin. But I drove it around some. It was a fun car. I'd love to specialize in AMC cars, Gremlins, Concorde. Oh yeah, the Concordes, and but they have no value. Well, you Mexican Spec, you had, I don't know, maybe it was a year ago, maybe not quite that long ago. You had a 74 Matador on there, and I bought a new 74 Matador, and I had it for 8 months, but I was opening up a business and I couldn't afford the payment, so I sold it, and I wasn't upside down in it. I sold it for enough to pay the loan off. Man, was I lucky. So I really like 74 Matadors. There's big bug eyes on the front. But I think they look pretty good. I think they look really good. No traction. Tried to kill me. Yeah. AMC Gremlins. Yeah, they don't have traction, but they're fun. That one, I don't know, the older people remember this. There was a song called Short People, and that friend of mine has a black Gremlin on the side of it. It said Short People, had a spoiler up on the top and the back. It was a cool looking car. Okay, I guess there's something going on there with Dean Stevenson explaining something. I don't know what that is. Okay, let's go to, somebody was saying put a V8 in that, but then nothing will bolt up to that transmission. Nothing will bolt up to that bell housing. So
the Cologne bell housing is specific from, it's not like a small block Ford, or else
you got to do something else.
I would do that. Yeah, we're into like over $1,000 to get.
So now
Just a get
here's
a working drivetrain for that. So
here's
we're not doing that right now. Maybe
here's the car I'm really looking forward to. Did you just take that picture today?
Yeah, today.
Oh, okay. Because I don't remember that picture. I'm going to do something with that car. Probably take that car is made out of Bondo. I know it looks like metal, but might be some metal under there somewhere.
Some metal there in place.
There's some metal under there somewhere.
Up top, there's still a little metal.
That V8 Gremlin that nobody wanted. Oh man, 1983. A guy I worked for had a factory V8 Gremlin that nobody wanted. Pulled the front wheels off the ground. You know, cars that nobody wanted back then. Now people want a fortune for them. Bronco 2 is the same as Explorer, isn't it? The Explorer had a V8. Yeah, but it has different bell housing and transmission. It doesn't bolt up. You have to.
Yeah, you have to change.
You have to go change. You have to go find all that
and
stuff.
different length drive shafts. So you have to buy a whole Explorer to get all that, and it's a really big job. Way bigger than changing out head gaskets.
So I should start closing some of these.
You can. It doesn't.
But then I can open other ones that what's going on here? Where's my there? What was that? What is this? You got pictures here. I don't know what they are.
They're all pictures I took today.
What is this?
Oh, that's garbage.
Garbage.
That's just parts for the Subaru. Show them the Subaru. It's the picture before or after that, I think.
Looking for the Subaru. Eurobus. Eurobus. Where's the Eurobus? I don't see it.
Yeah, but Mexican specs, it's actually more expensive to buy the parts than it is to get an entire vehicle. And
So this
either
thing,
way, it's more than the vehicle's worth right now, plus my time. So.
Oh, yeah, that means we got to go to Mexico to get this stuff. Man, I don't know. What we have right now are too many project cars. We've got to get.
We do. We're going through the cycle to show you them here, and the list is pretty long.
See, up in the background here.
There's my van.
That's Kim's van, and all these stickers, and there's autographs all over it. That's from the No Name Nationals, where people stuck their stickers and their autographs all over
fun.
it. Oh yeah, we had a good. There's a video about that. But anyway, Kim got this Eurobus, Subaru. She got this Subaru, and the Subaru. What the heck? It had a water leak or something, and somebody put a water pump on it, and they messed up the cam timing when they had it apart, and then the valves crashed into the pistons, and then Kim got it for cheap. So she took it all apart, and
that's exactly right, Iceman. I had to surface the heads, put new valves in, and right now the block and heads are sitting there waiting for me to assemble. And if we weren't sitting here doing this, I'd be out in the shop doing that because it's not too cold tonight.
So
tomorrow we'll work on it some more.
The Subaru, when she pulled the heads off, she cleaned them off, and then we put straight edges on there, and you get, I don't remember what the limit was, but we get feeler gauges under there, so they weren't straight. And it was like $600 to have them resurfaced. So Kim bought new valves, just all new valves, and she got, we tied the heads down on a bench, and she got a big flat piece of wood, put 80 grit sandpaper on it, and she surfaced the heads by hand. I think it took her like 2 days. But they're good.
Yeah, it took about 5 hours to do both heads.
They look great. I can't believe she did that. That's some real hillbilly stuff, but man, they're nice. Perfect for a V6 GM 3800 swap. What is that? Which car?
Maybe talking about the Bronco?
The Bronco? Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. The bell housing's a real deterrent.
Even if I got to, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't put a GM engine in a Ford.
She's not one of those, and I put a 327 Chevy in a Cougar. Yeah, I don't mind. Weird engine swaps. Oh, for the
Subaru.
For the
no,
V6.
that motor's going to run real good now.
Oh, this thing will be fine. I think it'll be fine because she bought all new valves. I took one of the old valves, this is hillbilly stuff. But it worked. She took a valve, an old valve that was straight, one of the straight ones, cut it with a die grinder. We had an old circular saw with carbide tip blades. She cut one of those off, welded it into the valve at the correct angle, put it in there, and spun it with a drill, and she fixed the seats on the Subaru with this homemade cutter. It's so nice. I can't believe she's able to do that. And then she put all new valves in it, and it surfaced the heads, so it's going to go back together pretty quickly here. That'll be a running car. It'll be fine.
One-eyed cat. That's where I would have gone if I hadn't gone with the longboard. Was use a piece of granite countertop.
Yeah, we had a piece of wood that was pretty straight.
I mean, they have contact cement that releases when you peel. It'll come off, Meg.
How do you change the paper when you need to?
He was talking about gluing sandpaper to a flat surface.
I buy these rolls of.
No, you need a big piece to do a surface ahead on a.
On a like that, yeah. Because I buy these rolls of sandpaper that you could put on on a big, like for doing body work. You put it on a big board, and she just took a big long piece of that.
Yeah, Iceman, you can't use stones because the seats they're hardened inserts, so they're too hard for a stone. So I took the saw blade, the carbide was too small, and a couple of seats, and it snapped off finally. So I got like a 1/2-inch carbide drill bit for for drilling holes in masonry, and I cut the last 3/4 of an inch of the drill off, and then set it in and welded it to the valve at the right angle. I tacked it and then indexed it until it was the perfect angle to so that it's 44 or whatever like that. So it's just a little deeper than the valve is wide, so that it'll run itself in. And once I had it, it worked. And I did all the exhaust valves. The intake valves were not damaged, but the exhaust valves were kind of burned because it's a high mileage car. So all the exhaust valves, and they machined up nice. They look good.
I work at a machine shop. That's still pretty impressive.
I'm surprised that the person at the machine shop doesn't tell me I'm a complete idiot and it'll never work.
I came from a different side of things. My first radiator shop had a machine shop next door, and these guys were all hot rod guys. They had everything. They had crank grinding, and balancing, and just like the best kind of machine shop for hot rod stuff. And they really knew their shit, And so I kind of came from that side of things. And then the aircraft, of course, is that kind of stuff. And then before I met Kim, I was watching her channel, and she was doing a monkey bike for the No Name Nationals, the first year of the No Name Nationals. So she wanted to increase the compression. So she took the head off the monkey bike and took the valves out of it, and she made a wooden thing that was an angle like this out of wood.
Perfect 90, yeah.
Perfect 90. She took the head and put drywall screws through the
valve guides.
Through the valve guides, held it there. She took a circular saw and she milled 100 thousandths off the head with a carbide tip circular saw. What? You can go look at her video. Just chips everywhere. She got done. Bolted it back on the mini bike. Pulled the thing and it goes boom, and started right up. And she rode it.
And I've been running it for 2 years, and it's been fun.
I can't believe she took 100 thousandths off a head with a circular saw.
It has a nice pop to it.
It works so well. It's like that was the first thing I saw her do that was really hillbilly-ish. It worked really well. And we don't have a lot, We got to got an old hillbilly house, a piece of property with a garage on it.
Lots of TV screens.
Lots of TV screens. Some of them donated, but we've got a lot of old junk cars and a lot of projects. And I got a lot of abilities, and she's got a lot of abilities, and really different. I've got a lot of fiberglass stuff and aluminum fabrication kind of stuff, and she's got a lot of, she used to race slant sixes way back, long time ago when she was young, and she knows how to do stuff without money. So that's why we really have a good time. Is that called decking the heads?
You deck a block. I don't know if you deck heads.
We used to say we milled the heads.
Yeah, you mill heads and you deck the block.
And if you do too much of that,
it's different words.
And if you do too much of that, then the intake doesn't fit, and you've got to fix the intake to make sure that everything lines up. But I'm sure Iceman could probably. Sometimes you work with what you got. Yeah, and you know what? The people that I know that work with it, a lot of times you learn a lot from those people. And man, what's his name?
Our Guy Garage. I mean, we could just throw money at some of these problems, but we'd have a lot less fun. And I don't think most people don't like to fix stuff. They just want to buy new stuff. It's so boring to me.
Let's say you took those heads to a machine shop, and it's going to be $600. And the last time I went to that machine shop, the one local here, they were 8 months out. So for 8 months, we'd be pissed off, And no, this is like, she did it really slick. She did it in 2 nights, and it's ready, and we did it,
Right, and I keep the money.
Well, you mill the heads if you have Shotcat Industries. What used to be milling the heads is now chop sawing heads. Yeah, that's right. Oh.
Well, what I want to design is a machine that I can bolt onto the block while it's still in the vehicle, and mill the head in place, and then just use a vacuum cleaner, suck out the shavings, and send it. They don't make nothing like that. It doesn't have to be this giant machine that takes up a huge part of your. If you bolt it to the head, you should be able to square it up and make it work, But just nobody does that, and so there's nothing available. But I could make something. It's future down the road. I got too many projects.
I swapped the picture because there's one of Kim's projects. It was a running skid steer when she got it, but it was borderline. It had like 2 right-hand hydraulic motors in it, so it didn't work right, and all the controls are loosey-goosey. It was really bad. So she pulled all the controls apart. We welded them, re-drilled them so they fit nicely, and they're not all clinking around. They actually work, and she replaced a lot of stuff. And that thing originally had a 16 horsepower diesel engine in it, but before she got it, somebody put a 24 horse 2-cylinder gasoline Honda engine in it. So it's got a great engine in it. Runs good.
Yeah, it's strong.
And still has a few hydraulic problems, and we're building a roll cage for it.
And I updated the gearing, so it's even got the proper, because that was the other thing, is the gearing. It was spinning those motors too fast, and it was like super jerky because it was like blasting the motors with too much pressure. So now the pressure is sort of right, and we've done a bunch of work with it.
I would break so many things with that. Well, with the skid steer,
it is fun breaking things with it.
That's how she moves the Lost Fire on, because it doesn't have any wheels on it. It doesn't have nothing under the rear end. Now you got to move it with the skid steer.
Yeah, I mean, we're not getting any younger, and like it's tough moving like motors and blocks and stuff around, and
what else do you have here?
And just yard work. We get trash or
what is this? What is that?
Anything that needs moved around.
What is that?
That's the engine to the 300. You're skipping ahead.
Engine to the 300.
The Z car.
Oh, I couldn't tell what the picture was.
Yeah, there's more vehicles here.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more. Oh, here's that rear end that she narrowed.
We don't have anybody around here to do work. You can't hire people. I needed holes drilled for the pole barn that we're building, and I call people, they don't even call back. They're too busy, and just everyone here is
you don't have a bunch of Mexicans around to do the work.
Busy working and too busy to even return your calls, let alone just give you a price or do the work.
That's the car that's going to get the independent suspension on the back and four-wheel disc brakes. And it's a pretty decent four-door 66 Dart, slant six, three.
I'm not a super fan of four doors,
speed.
but I really like the lines on that car.
Three speed. That Uncle Tony had that, and Kim bought it from him, and she drove it up here, which is like an hour and a half, and it all it really needed. The valves weren't quite adjusted right. It had a little lup to it.
It needed a fuel pump.
And she got that. Oh yeah, we had to put a fuel pump on it.
Sat.
Down at Uncle Tony's.
And that radiator has some cracks in the
it says you say 300. I think Chrysler 300.
We have one of those too. There's a picture in there.
Where is that Chrysler 300? This is my car. This is my car, but that's actually Mopar Al's. I bought that from him, and he used the Hemi and the automatic, and he needed the tunnel, so the floor's cut out. But that's going to be a parts car for another car of mine. I'm not going to try to restore that thing. It's been wrecked and hacked, and a lot of parts already pulled off of it. But the stuff I want is there, so I daily that 100%. Yeah, that
Dart though, you know what?
That Dart is that's.
It's a little. I would rather just cruise it now and then than daily it, because it's a little. It doesn't handle like a new car.
It will.
Well, yeah. I mean, it will. I guess that's true. We'll see how it goes.
The
with independent
AutoZone here
suspension.
with millions of slant sixes sold didn't even have a listing for a fuel pump for my Savoy. Man, that's a Savoy, isn't it? That's 63. What the strange thing about Plymouth in 63, they were B bodies, and they were the Fury, the Savoy, and the Belvedere were all the same body. My brother had a 63 Fury with a poly engine in it. Oh man, did I get in trouble in that thing. That is not the 300 I think of. Mine was a 62. Oh, that kind of 300. I don't want my 63 handle to sound. No, if you have a 63 Plymouth and you just put new bushings and stuff in it, those things they handle so good. That 63 of my brother's, I'd push that thing through turns so hard, but it was still fairly new, so the suspension was good stuff. What is this thing? I don't know what that is. What is that? What is that picture? Oh, it's that thing.
Yeah, you see how lovingly I took a picture from way over there?
That's one of Kim's cars. That was a really nice car. She had it in Pennsylvania, and she was driving it on a road with two lanes going each way, and a guy coming the other way turned right in front of her.
Cross a double yellow line.
She hit him, and he gets out, and he said, what did he say? He says, he goes, I just had another wreck yesterday.
I just had an accident yesterday.
But he had insurance. So.
Well, I paid off the car with the
insurance money.
But it only has 90-some thousand miles on it, so I put a new bumper, a new fender. We have the hood.
We have the hood and it's painted. We just got to install it.
Needs clear coated.
Needs to be clear coated.
And a headlight and stuff like that. I had under 1,000 in parts and materials to put it back together, so it'll get me around if I wanted to, but I don't know. I'm driving.
Avio. That's not an Avio.
No, it's not.
That's a supersonic. Well, without the super. It's Sonic.
Yeah, it's a Chevy Sonic. The Avio is a smaller garbage yard car.
You know what's good about that car? It's actually inside. It's comfortable. It's got power windows. It's got power everything. And it gets, about 40 miles a gallon or something,
It doesn't get that good, but so it gets 30, and it's very,
There's nothing wrong with that car.
It starts in the frigid cold. It is a Sonic. It starts in the frigid cold, and it's super. It's just reliable. It's.
And when Kim moved down here, she built that thing, and put all her stuff in it, all her tools, motorcycles. 3 motorcycles and a generator and tools.
I moved my whole life to Tennessee in that vehicle.
Towed that thing down here,
and it has not moved since.
And I was worried about her in it, but it made it just fine. What else do we have here?
90,000 on a new Chevy is, you get 150,000, 200,000 if you take any kind of care of it. So I don't think that's a lot for a car of that age.
Well, if you're watching our channel or my channel, you've seen this guy before. That's the Valiant that we put the slant six in, and you can
that's his car.
See me do a cheap paint job on the hood, and it kind of matches the rest of the car. Looks like 1972 paint all over again. Yeah, that's mine.
You have a Chevette shop, Cat? I gotta watch that.
I thought it'd be nice to steal a Sonic engine transmission dash pod to stick in my old Chevette. Chevettes. God, that was a Brazilian engine, I think. I knew people that had Chevettes. I really didn't like them, but they're a nice little car, I guess. Pretty basic car,
Sold the Kawasaki. Actually, I traded the Kawasaki for that Subaru that I'm working on over at the shop. And I have a Coleman CT 200, and then I have my racing mini bike as well. So they're not really motorcycles, but.
You want to put a Sonic engine transmission? I had to stick to my old Chevette, and then he says I meant a rear drive transmission, but that's. What you do is you leave the stuff. Oh, no, you can't do that. I was going to say leave the stuff up front and put it in the back. Now, because it already drives the back wheels, that won't work. You have to do that with a front drive car. Also put another front drive in the back.
10 years older.
That Valiant.
That would be cool.
Oh, you know what? My favorite Valiant is a 60 and a 61. The 62 is almost the same, has a different dash and different taillights, but the original Valiant is... Man, do I like those.
Does have new side
No, they aren't buff.
Mexican
Even
spec.
those stick shift, they were dangerously slow. Yeah, that's a Chevette, I assume. I had a friend that had a Chevette. He drove that thing everywhere, but it was extremely slow.
I got a ticket going 90 in a Chevette one time.
You what? What happened?
I got a ticket going 90 on the interstate in a Chevette.
So what'd you do, drive out the back of an airplane?
No.
How do you go 90 miles an hour in a Chevette? Were you going downhill?
I had a tall gear in it, and it was just zipping right along.
I think the cop was lying.
No, he wasn't. I was going really fast.
So this Valiant we got did not have an engine in it. Uncle Tony swung that deal for me. He gave us a bunch of mismatched parts that were all slant six parts, and it had water in it and everything. You can go back in my channel and look at the engine. We rebuilt that engine, and we put new pistons in it. A couple of cylinders are a little bit big, but they're still like 5,000 piston cylinder wall clearance, which is okay. We were lucky the transmission was good. Kim pulled the rear end all apart and cleaned it, and it's good. The brakes were stuck. It's got all new brakes on it now.
Everything is
new hydraulics, everything. The brakes are really good. The power steering was leaking like a sieve, so it's got a new power steering stuff on it. And the car drives like crap because the front end's all worn out. But if you watch my last video, Kim gave me, for my birthday, she gave me a box full of front end parts, all the pieces and parts to rebuild that front end. So I guess that'll be one of my next videos.
Yeah, that's the next week.
So
what we have to do. Then we got to put the front bumper on that car. We got a bumper.
Oh, and there's a bumper for it. I already did that. So the bumper came off of what was that truck?
Dodge Dakota. We got a picture of the Dodge Dakota.
It came off the Dodge Dakota, and it just about fit. We had to do a little work to it, and then it was black. Where's the Dakota?
Did we widen it, or it's
no,
black?
The Dakota was a little bit V, and we had to un-V it just slightly.
There it is.
Where?
Zoom it up.
Oh, with bumperless, because that's a parts car, but we took the bumper off that, and it just about fit on the Valiant perfectly. We just had to take. It doesn't look like there's much of a V there, but there is. We had to cut it and weld it, and it was a black painted bumper anyway. I painted it the same color as the Valiant, so right now it's the same color as the Valiant. But I don't know. Some people like that, some don't. I could paint it black again. I could paint it silver. I don't know. Whatever. Oh, Mexican spec. I was thinking that, and I didn't say anything, but I should have. The Valiant has Mexican specs side marker lights on them. I bought it. They were all smashed, broken junk, and he sold me new ones. They went right on. They're perfect. Everything worked perfectly. So his reproduction side marker lights are really, it's good stuff.
Beautiful. They're so pretty with the LED lights in them. They glow so nice and bright.
Took me minutes to install them.
And
it was hard to get the old parts out.
Compared to the old yucky one, oh man.
The old parts, there's little plastic nubs with like pal nuts, sheet metal nuts hold them on, but those are all broken off, so it was all stuck together with gummy old tape and everything. Cleaning that mess up.
Get a sweatshirt.
Cleaning that mess up was harder than putting the new ones in. New ones just went right in. Just bought new pal nuts and on they went. Let's see here. That IRS setup is going to be cool as hell. Yeah, we're going to have, as Kim says, we're going to have to back half that dart. We're going to have to pull the whole back half out of that, out of the lost fire, narrow it so it fits the carriage, and then we're going to probably put that stuff underneath the dart. I was talking about just building a new frame under there, under the dart, and she goes, no, we'll take the stuff out of the crossfire. All right, I don't know. I think she's got a pretty good idea. She usually has a good
this way
idea what she's doing.
Up and everything.
It was no issue. I went through it. Stem to stern, VW GTI rims. What is this? Yeah, I didn't pay attention to some power brakes too. 40 over, HO exhaust. What car is that? Shopcat Industries.
I think he's talking about the Chevette.
You did all that to a Chevette? Oh my God. I absolutely love driving it. I told people you pick the corner, pick the speed. Okay, I have the side marker lights in clear and smoke now as well. I don't like smoke lights. And I'll tell you why. Because they might look cool, but if you park a car, especially like let's say you have problems and you park a car where it's not in a really good spot, all those side marker lights, tail lights, turn signal, all those have a reflective value to them. So if there's a car coming and they got the lights on, all those lights will reflect. And if you got the smoke colored ones, they don't. You're just a blacked out thing that's going to get clobbered. So as cool as it looks, I don't like it. I like the reflective abilities of the colored lenses. You make a set of cheese graters. Cheese graters. What are cheese graters? Kim, cheese graters. Cheese graters. I should know what that is. Mexican spec. What is a cheese grater?
Let me.
I should know what that is. What's a cheese grater? As soon as I hear it, I'll know. Oh yeah, a cheese grater.
We might have some more stuff to look at, but before we do that, I wanted to change the subject for a moment. Us with back. Okay, here's us full screen. So, what do the people who have been here for what do you think of this whole green screen thing that we're doing? Is this worth the effort? Like, it took us hours to get this all set up, and I think it was fun. And what do you think? Do you like the idea? How does it translate? Like, we can't see what you can see exactly. Like, we could see, but I don't know if it.
Well, last week we had a pink wall behind us, and somebody suggested we need a better background. So we worked on it. So we worked on it. I've never heard them called that. Oh yeah, the cheese graters, or he's calling that the 87 through 93 Mustang GT lights. Oh man, I had an 89 Mustang. I forgot about that. It was an 89 Mustang GT fastback, or a hatchback. When I first went to work at a place, they gave it to me as a company car. And then the boss took it back because he wanted to drive it. But I drove that thing for like a year. I drove that all over the Northeast, went to Massachusetts and Ohio, and God, I don't know, I took it everywhere. That was a fun car. It had a 5-speed in it too. So it was a 31 mile a gallon car that just flew when you stuck your foot in it. It was amazing. It's Back to the Future. You must go Back to the Future. What is that? Oh, that's a
because
DeLorean.
this how you can see through me.
Oh,
The Back to the Future.
You
the
put
time travel movie.
you put something on the green. Thinks it's the green screen
Thinks
as
it's
part.
green, yeah.
Oh, so we can see through you. You told me to take off the shirt that did that, and then you went and put on a shirt that does.
Cold. Yeah, he's referencing a movie where someone fades away because time travel.
And you're like partially faded away.
Yeah.
I bought a new Mustang GT in titanium with black mesh wheels. I haven't seen that color in a long time. Oh, you bought that when you were in Los Angeles then. Man, a lot of people don't like them. Okay, what else do we, that's an ugly car to have up there. What else do we have here, Kim? I don't know what this is. What is this thing? What is that? What is that? Oh, oh my God, that thing. Which one is that? That's the bad one.
That's Big Blue.
That's the bad one. The green one behind
Oh, wait,
it.
they can't see. They can't see.
There you go. The green one behind is a nice truck. It needs a bumper. I bought her some headlights. She's got to put the headlights in, put the bumper on it. She's got new tires for it. That's a good running truck. The other one is so rusty, the body fell down onto the frame. The guy didn't want it anymore because the steering was locked. And the reason the steering locked is the body had fallen down onto the pitman arm. So rusty, the body fell onto the pitman arm. You couldn't turn the steering wheel anymore.
No, it was the rag joint was jammed
the
up
rag joint
suspension.
something was jammed up because the body fell onto the. Oh my God! So that's a parts vehicle.
There wasn't even the cab mounts weren't even rusted through. The cab was completely gone. There was no cab. Tiny was like a silver gray. Yeah.
And that pile of junk is stuff that Kim has been scooping up with the.
Oh yeah, there's big changes coming.
With the,
yeah, I think there's a photograph you could see
that looks
zoomed
like
further back.
Looks like hell. It looks like that. Our whole yard doesn't look like that. That's the pile.
Our whole yard does look like that.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Our whole yard looks like.
It's a complete mess.
I had pictures of our whole yard earlier.
The picture before this should show all three trucks.
All three trucks. I'm trying to see this. This screen is so bad.
Use extra large icons instead of large icons. View.
I'm trying to find it. View. Oh, the screen sucks. Here it is. View.
That laptop has a wonk. The screen is wonky.
Oh, that's better. Yeah, this screen is got a real.
Dying.
It's got a big dark spot in it.
Dropped it a couple times. It's about 5 years old.
So I don't see the other trucks.
There's no picture of the other trucks?
No.
The picture I must have not pressed the button good enough. Yeah, it would have been between. Yeah, it's not there.
That's just showing you all my vehicles. This isn't all that interesting, but it's a vehicle I like driving. That's when I drove up to Lot Burns' house. It's just a nice driving vehicle. It's an '08, but it's an electronic car, so it has electronic issues when something goes wrong. Of course, Kim's pretty good at that too. I've got a laptop with a OBD2 connector. Put it in there. She looked at it. She goes, "I think it is jerking. You can hardly drive." And she goes, "I think the throttle body's dirty." So she got underneath, pulled the throttle body out, cleaned it, put it back in, and didn't fix it. So then she took the throttle body out again and took it apart, and there were plastic gears, and one of the plastic gears' teeth were sheared off of it. So we bought a throttle body, put it on there. It drives nice, but it surprised me how quickly. Kim's really good with all the old cars and the hillbilly machining and all that, but then something new where there's electronics, she went right to the problem. It was pretty good.
I fix things.
Wife was
it's
in
the
a
channel name.
Wife was in a head-on Chevy half-ton extended cab. His frame was bent in half. We had some scratches on the hood, and the headlight needed to be replaced. That was it. Oh God!
I like what he said. He put titanium right in the paint.
My youngest son I had a PT Cruiser, which he wanted, and he was driving it, and he hit a Chevy pickup. Same thing. Chevy pickup, it was a 60, I felt so bad. It was a 67 Chevy pickup that was pretty nice, and he hit it almost head on and totaled both cars. And the guy in the 67 Chevy was real pleasant. If that were my truck, I would have flipped out. I would have been mad.
That Jeep does have the CVT in it.
Yes.
And it is fantastic. And it's got 178,000 miles on. I don't know how much longer it's going to go, but right now, and it's a grocery getter. Like, we're not taking it off-road. We don't race it. We just, go down the street and get...
Those transmissions...
It works great.
They're okay. I had a Dodge Caliber that had it was a 2010 Caliber that had a CVT in it, and the tachometer would be at 3 different positions: idle, kind of a drive down the road RPM, and then full throttle RPM. And if you stuck your foot all the way in, it went up right up to full throttle, and that tach would never move, and the car would just speed up. And when you took your foot off of it, it'd go down to that cruise RPM. And it would never move from that. You go a little faster, a little slower, that tach never moved, or to be on idle. And I drove that thing for 108,000 miles, and I was out in Arizona, summertime, 115, 120 degrees, and the temperature light started coming on for the transmission. So I took it into the dealer, and they looked at it and quoted me. They said it needs a new transmission. And it was like $4,100. And I was like, oh my God. And the woman, the service manager, says, she goes, wait a minute, you've got a lifetime warranty on this car. I go, yeah. And she goes, $100 deductible. She goes, we'll put a transmission in for $100. Okay, have at it. I walked up the street to an airport, rented a car, drove it around for 3 or 4 days, came back. Here's the mistake I made. And I picked up that car, paid $100. But out on the used car lot, they had a bright red Mustang with a Coyote engine in it. And somebody had put those big scoops on the side and the back, kind of like the old Shelby's had. And that thing was on a used car lot. And I was like, man. And I don't think they understood what engine that was. So a few days later, I went back. I said, I want that Mustang. He goes, oh, we just sold it. I should have bought it the day I had the transmission fixed. Ever service a CVT? If you haven't, don't. It's too late. Yeah, when you service it, you replace it.
And it has a 2.4. And it has plenty of zip.
It's the same engine.
I wouldn't tow with it or anything.
It's the same engine and transmission that was in my Caliber. Exactly the same. But it's not programmed the same because it acts more like it's shifting. And the Caliber didn't act like it was shifting. It was like it just ran at 3 different RPMs. So that the programming was different.
We don't really know the service history of the vehicle. We haven't owned it for too many miles.
Here's the story on this thing. I was up in Maryland. Winter's coming up. I didn't want to drive my car into salt.
How many years ago was this?
2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Probably 3.
3 years ago. I didn't want to drive my car into salt. And here comes winter. So I was looking I liked the original style Ford Escapes, the little boxy ones. They're really comfortable, and I found one for $1,100, and it said, in Maryland, they have this is really scrolling by, same underneath its Caliber too. The shift points were programmed later models to alleviate customer complaints. So I was looking for an Escape, and I found one for $1,100. They have a pretty strict vehicle inspection in Maryland, and so I found this thing on Marketplace, and they wanted $1,100 because they said it needed new brakes and it needed rotors. Well, I can imagine they took it to a brake shop and they probably wanted huge money, probably $1,500 or something. And I thought, man, I can do that. That'll be cheap. I can fix that, and I'm going to register it in Tennessee anyway. So, but I sat on it too long. So the day I went to buy it, it was gone. Said, well, in the meantime, this had been on Marketplace, this Jeep, and the girl wanted $3,500 for it, which I wasn't going to spend that much money. So the day that I lost the deal on the Escape, I started looking for another Escape, and this thing was in there, and she'd marked it down from $3,500 to $1,000. So I got a hold of her, went over there, and she goes, I don't know what's wrong with it because I'm a girl. She's 17. She goes, I don't know what's wrong with it because I'm a girl. She goes, but it bucks. It bucks, okay. So her father came out and we started it up. It sounded like somebody put marbles in a blender. It's like, this horrible noise. And her father was in there and he's gunning it, and it just, I turn it off, So he turned it off, and I had the hood open, and he comes over, he puts his finger on the power steering pump, and he goes, it's this air conditioning compressor. And he's pointing at the power steering pump. And I thought, it is something belt-driven up front making that noise. So I gave her $1,000 for it, and had it towed over to my apartment. And the apartment had a nice big dirt parking lot, and they let you work out there. So the alternator was making all that racket. I put an alternator on it and drove it a lot. And then there was a sensor on the back wheel. Speed sensor went bad, so there's problems with that. And then we went up. I ended up chasing work all over the place. So it was in a storage place in Maryland. And after I met Kim, we went back up to Maryland, picked it up. We took my van up there with a tow dolly. And I had trouble with the tow dolly, trying to keep the thing on there. Oh, and Kim had crawled underneath and pulled the rear drive shaft out so we could tow it by the back wheels. And we put a plug in the transmission so the oil wouldn't fall out. And then I drove it around and put it on the tow dolly just on the front wheels, and it drove fine. So we ended up, Kim drove it here without the drive shaft in it. Amazing. So that's a 760-mile drive.
With a transmission plug duct taped in for the rear
a plastic
drive
plug
shaft.
in the transmission with duct tape holding it in. So it came down here as a front driver. Pretty funny. And then we put new wheel bearings in the back because the wheel bearings have the sensor. So we did that and put the drive shaft back in it. We're driving it, and then she put the throttle body on it. But other than that, it's been a great car. Sorry, I'm like, Colleen! Oh man, you missed so much. You're going to have to go back and watch this. He shows so many pictures. What else we got here? Kim, I know I want to show something else.
Thanks for coming, Colleen. You coming from the other live?
So,
We might start a little later next week.
I was out in, where was I? Oregon or somewhere? I was still working, traveling. And I came home. What happened?
I don't know. Click on it.
I am clicking on it.
I think you confused it.
I can't even close it now.
Well, close some other stuff. I'll bring us up to a different background till you get it.
Why did that happen? I want that gone. And it's there.
It's confused.
Oh, I don't want to confuse computer halfway through the live. Oh. How do I get rid of that?
Maybe just give it a second.
Maybe I can go over it.
You can use Control, Alternate, Delete, and it won't.
Here we go. I'll just go over it.
Okay.
So I was out. I come home.
Sorry.
I'm here for several days, and I go behind the shop, and this is sitting there on Kim's trailer. I don't even know we have it. And it's like, wait a minute. What's that? What's that doing in the yard? So, Kim, tell us about that.
There was a guy.
Oh, you didn't put it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, here it is.
So that was sitting behind the shop for days before I knew about it. She bought it while I was gone. Oh, yeah. Colleen, she looks great tonight, doesn't she? She got her contacts in because she can't wear those normally because they work in her shop. But, yeah.
I got no excuse to try and, doll it up a little bit.
She looks great. I look the same. Although, I did get my hairs cut.
I made him wear a red shirt and a not green hat so we could do the green screen.
And Colleen, you said we needed a better background and everything. So we worked on it all week. And Kim put a green screen back there. And so then I had a green shirt on. So then I just looked like a head and a neck. So she told me I had to change shirts. So I put the red shirt on so you could see me. But anyway, Dean Stevenson, what is that?
The
Something,
rear wheels
yes.
from the 90, maybe it has value. Yeah, I have a whole set of those. I have a whole set of both wheels.
She has so much for this car.
I've got 2 motors for that car. I've got the naturally aspirated and the turbo computer for that car. I've got two sets of the roof things. What are those called? T-tops. I've got 2 of the plastic noses for it. Pop-up headlights, everything.
I don't know why you have so much.
I don't know why.
What's really funny is she bought it, and like a month later, we go over to the guy's house, and he's giving her more parts. He gave her another engine, and after she bought the car.
Well, he said I could have it. It was part of the deal.
So, yeah. There we go. Hey, everybody. Does nothing special. Oh, man. Man, my barber.
It has the 5-speed manual transmission. And
Trying to find a good barber. Good luck. You know what? I finally found a good one. I finally found a good barber here. That was not a popular car when it was new. You know, I worked for a guy that had a new one. He let me use it a couple of times, and it was fun to drive. But, yeah, it wasn't a popular car.
I think the motor that's in it, there's something wrong with it. Because he started disassembling the motor to take out to put the other motor in. But he didn't really know. He was just going to, he had another motor, so he was just going to swap them. And then he was going to put the turbos on. And he was just some dreamer, right? And that's how I ended up with the car, because he just wanted to move on to something else. He had all these parts collected, and he had the whole front end of the car taken apart.
You know what I see in the background here? No, you only see the junk truck, the good truck. Oh, the white truck. The white truck's there. That's a parts car, but it drives. So it had a bad engine in it. The bearings were all
pretty well.
Bearings were all banging. She pulled the pan off, put bearings in it.
Oh my gosh, that white truck was a nightmare. Don't even talk about it.
This is when she did a video, and I see she's got 2 different color shoelaces on. And the reason is because she used one of the shoelaces to polish the crank. So then she needed to replace the shoelace in her shoe, and it was a different color. So that's pretty funny.
I put new rod bearings in that motor, a 318 motor, because I thought maybe I could keep it from blowing up. But it immediately clogged the pickup screen again because somebody did not change the oil on that vehicle properly. It needs that motor all torn down. And then the transmission doesn't come out of first gear, so I think it has a bad band, so I got to take the engine transmission out of it. But I bought it for the tires. I got it for the price of the tires to put on that green truck. Anything else I get off of that truck is just free, as far as I'm concerned.
What was I saw something back here I wanted to respond to. Oh, Wendy is my barber, and I'm due for a haircut. Cut it short. You know, Kim cut my hair about 3 months ago, and she cut it all off. Looked like the first day in basic training in the Army. But that's what I wanted. And then it grew out, and it started to look like a wolf again. So I went to the barber and had it cut like, like a normal, 2 hacks. Hey, I just watched one of your videos, 2 hacks. First thing I did this morning was I watched you put all the mounts and everything for the front axle on that frame. Good stuff. I can't wait to see that car. Man, I can't wait to see that car. Hope it's at No Name Nationals. Dual hacks. Dual hacks. So, okay, let's get rid of this picture because this is...
Dos Jaques.
Dos Jaques. Dos Jaques. Is that what you say?
Yes.
Ask Mexican Spec if it's Dos Jaques. It'd be like Dos Equis. I'll start closing some of these. Yeah, that thing. What else do we have here? I think that might be about it.
We have all the parts to put that red car back together, and it's just... Right now, its job is to make sure I don't take the trailer and buy more junk. He won't help me get the car off the trailer, so I can't go and buy any more junk, which is good because we have too many junk cars. I mean, we've been through a bunch of them during this. There is the picture
What?
with all the trucks.
Where?
If If you go to the top left corner, you come down one and over one.
Oh.
That's got all the trucks.
Oh, I missed that.
There's all our Dodge trucks.
Yeah, a lot of pictures up there.
We're in Tennessee, so if you don't mow, you grow up a crop of old Dodge trucks.
You know,
this is our Mopar farm.
For a year, once a week, she'd be dragging another dead car in, and I'm like, "What are you? You're filling my yard up with dead cars." But we got projects.
You like it?
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of those aren't Dodge trucks, they're Rams. Ram. I mean they mean business. They used to say Dodge, now they say Ram. That's like
Ram.
I have a beard right now. I hate shaving. Yeah, I got some stuff here, but my beard. I used to have a big beard, and it just turned white and looked terrible. And then I kept coloring it, and in 2 days it'd be white underneath. I was like, that's enough. I just cut it into this thing. I prefer conditioner as it lubes better. I shave in the shower too. I started doing that so I could keep warm in the winter cold house. Our shop, we put the
well, the blue one on the left. Wait, is that your left or my left? Okay, so that one there.
Which one is he saying?
A Dodge truck.
White one looks pretty good.
That one there is a 94. That's the first year for the Ram, and then that one's a 99. It's also a Ram. That's the new body style. This one looks good, and that's why I bought it. We need to take the front bumper off of this and put it on the green one. The green one
and the back window and the tires. That white one is a real good parts vehicle.
Right, but the drivetrain is poopy.
This one,
and they both don't have any rot, but that
one is a good running truck.
That one way over there, that one is so rotten. It's a 92. It's
this one, yeah, that's the one that the body fell down on the steering mechanism.
It's a low mileage 4-wheel drive.
It's a piece
extended
of crap.
cab truck, but it's so from about midway down the door and down, all of the truck is bad, and the frame is swollen from rust. It's so bad, but the engine drivetrain is fantastic. 1999, but it is a Ram Charger. Oh, I have a 99. Oh, a Ram
Charger's like a. Yeah, I also have it, but it's a Ram Charger. Yeah, Ram Charger's like a Blazer kind of looking thing. How do I find...
Right. You might be a redneck if you mow your lawn and find an old Chevy.
Oh, I know what's wrong. I'm not plugged in. No wonder I can't find this. The USB's hanging off the side of the table. That's why I can't find my pictures.
Yeah, rust jacking. Ugh.
Okay. Now.
That blue truck is worse than my van, and my van was bad. It's still not cracked. 99 to 2001 Ram Charger.
You know what a Ram Charger is?
Yeah.
Looks like a... Oh, here's all my pictures. I'm going to flash one up there, but I'm not going to leave it there.
Okay. What are you going to do?
So it's...
Make it full screen?
So it's this thing.
Ask him if anybody can guess.
Nobody knows what that is, but I just want to show it. I want an opinion. What do you think of the... That was built in 1958, I'll tell you that much. And it's a little tiny sports car. And it's all aluminum. But I just want to know what people think of that thing. Okay, back to this.
Wow.
Kimborghini. Your
Trashometry?
Your Kimborghini. Okay. They're interesting. They had to come up with parts to make the truck. The tailgate is from a Caravan directly. Really? Okay, so all the people that came in after, I'm going to put up a picture of me when I was 24 years old, and that's my Cougar. So I was showing this earlier, but a lot of people came in since then. Buff made it. Buff made it. Oh, what, that car? I did not build that car. That car was built in 1958. A friend of mine, his father built it, and it's all aluminum. It's a unibody. Had a little 4-cylinder Crosley engine in it, and it'd go just about 100 miles an hour and weighed 800 pounds. That car weighed 800 pounds with the engine in it. Looks like a monkey mobile-ish. I saw it, yeah, almost looks, yeah, people used to come up and go, is it real? Does it float? Same mustache. Oh, yeah, but this mustache was, oh, man, sort of. I used to trim that off once a month because I had to go do the Air Force thing. We had to have really short hair. Yeah, that's 1979, I think. Man, but that's my Cougar. Looking for the switch for the rear wiper of the pickup. Okay, that's something else going on.
They're talking about the Mexican spec.
Yeah, okay.
Ram Charger.
Then I'm going to show you another car that you're not going to know what it is. This, see if anybody knows what this is. So what is that thing? I'll just start telling you. Did the Cougar ever get a hood scoop? No, it did not. I just had those anodized velocity stacks sticking out of there, and I used to cover them up when I was parked. Because I didn't have a garage then. Everything was that. You know how poor people are? They have a car like that, but they don't have any place. That was me. That thing is Land Speed Racer. You got it. That's a Corvair station wagon on a tubing chassis with that nose piece on it. The hood is off of it, but the engine was set in where the front seat normally was. It had a 300 cubic inch early Hemi in it, and the driver sat on the right side in the back seat and kind of looked up through a tunnel. And the two friends, and they built that thing, and they went 250 miles an hour in it at Bonneville. And that's really something. Corvair at first, yeah, it's a Corvair wagon. Yeah, the first gen was the only wagons. But those windows are about 3 inches high, 2.5 inches high, something like that on the sides. And I have other pictures of it, so you can see it. This is, yeah, that's also at the Salt. I don't know why they called it Corvega. There was nothing Vega on that. There's nothing Vega on that car. You see the parachute. It was fast. For a 300 cubic inch Hemi, it was something. Here it is they had it at a local car show. Can't go any further than that. They had it at a local car show, and people were looking at it. But the reason I wanted to show this, you can see with the doors open. So you climb over that tube right there and get in the seat, and you kind of looked up next to the engine, and the intake was up in the windshield. I think, maybe the scoop was up here on the top. And there was a panel that just went on here with just an aluminum panel with Zeus fasteners or something. Yeah, that was quite a thing. Howdy, Buff and Kim. Landon Custom Classics. Hello, how you doing? Vegas steering box. Oh, who knows? No, I think it was a tubing frame. I know it had a tubing axle up front, just an axle. Like Gordy Keck had built it over in his shop, and he had a fab shop. He was all welding and machine shop kind of guy. One of those guys that just builds stuff. Corvair from Georgia. So let's see, what else? I always talked about trading my Cougar for a 72 Monte Carlo and a King Midget and some money. So, King Midget.
Is this the one?
If any of you don't know what a King Midget is, this is a King Midget. And it has a 10 horsepower Wisconsin engine in the back with one of those, like a CVT V-drive belts. Mine was exactly like that. That's not mine. My doors were rotten junk. I never put them on because they were so bad. But my upholstery looked about like that. It was the same color, but my fenders were also yellow. So that's but the most interesting
You
man
can
in the
keep
world.
him, Iceman. He's incredibly interesting for the first year, and then the stories start to loop.
I'm like Jay Leno. I had a car collection, except Jay kept all his cars. Mine's a dynamic collection, which means I didn't have any money, so I had to keep buying and selling, buying and selling. So I have all these cars, but at least I had them for a while. I drove that thing.
Thunderbird.
Drove one of those all over. Spent part of my day doing body work on my 68 Thunderbird. Oh, wow. I think I saw you put a taillight assembly in your 68 Thunderbird, like some months ago. Yeah, I did. I know that car. Sure. I've been watching your channel some. Okay, let's see here. Dennis Collins showed me one of those. I've heard of them but never saw it in person. Those things were built for, oh man, like quite a few years. Here they are. They built 3 generations of them. The King Midgets were, their first generation was a single-seater. And these weren't, you could buy it as a kit or you could buy it as a complete car. Second generation was a 2-seater, which is what I had. And those were built up through like 57 or something. And then the third generation was built up through 68. I didn't really like the way those looked. I didn't like the nose piece on them, but like maybe I'm partial to the second gen because that's what I had. And they claim they go 50 or 55 miles an hour. You know, on a good day going down a steep hill maybe. On flatland, 40. And I know that didn't have a speedometer, but I had people follow me places on roads, so 40. 40 was it. Crosley HQ is one of those. Oh, Crosley headquarters was just a few miles from me. You know, that little car that I showed you, that little aluminum car, it had Crosley parts in it. Crosley engine, Crosley steering, and Crosley back in the late 40s had little disc brakes. It worked great. It had those disc brakes. Let's see. That was one extra. But 2 seats in it. Yes, replace the taillights. Yes, I watched that. I watched that video not long ago. The middle one looks like a mini Jeep Commander. You know, that middle one, that's a very nice one. Mine wasn't that nice. That one has really nice upholstery in it. Hayabusa swap. Oh my God. I always want to put a motorcycle engine in it, but you know, it's a little steering gear with just a little tab that moves a tire up. That thing doesn't handle good enough to put a good engine in it, and it only had rear brakes, and they were like go-kart brakes. Crosley started out making radios, finished up making radios, and I think they made refrigerators and some other things in between. And I think somebody has that name now because I think you can still buy Crosley radios, but they look like an old Crosley radio, but inside they're new stuff. So anyway, there's some of my interesting cars that I was showing earlier. But so let's see, what time is it? What time is it? We got about 15 minutes. So, Colleen, I think it was you that asked for us to fix the background. I hope we did. Kim really spent time with we got like a wiring nightmare here, but it all works.
We got 5 screens.
And
So we can see.
you know, all these people that have come in late didn't see the dyno room.
Oh, the dyno. Oh, well, we have our dyno egg.
Dyno egg. Okay.
We are going to hatch ourselves our very own dyno so that we can have a dyno room. Where was the dyno room now? Oh, no.
Where is it?
Let's see. Well, I think it's this one.
Yeah. Why are we so big? There's the dyno room.
We could be smaller.
I mean, if we're doing automotive stuff, we need a dyno room, and Kim decided that was the dyno room because I bought this melon and it's a dyno melon. So it's named a
It's like
dino.
a Pokemon. We're going to hatch it, and then we'll have our very own dino room.
Just like they do a lot of old companies. Oh my God. Where's that Corvette? That Chinese Corvette.
The dino.
Oh, where is that Chinese Corvette? I gotta show this if I can find it.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I can find it. What happened here? I'm amazed what the Chinese do sometimes. There it is. I gotta save image as, and I gotta put it somewhere where I can find it.
That's right. T-Rex power. He's just mad because actually this is a what was this melon called? It's some kind of melon. And it's named Dino something.
Where is it? Where is my stuff?
I don't know if you could see it because we're on the green screen.
Okay, here it is. This is okay. Can we go back to where I can control it? This is what happens when the Chinese decide to build a Corvette. This hurts my eyes. That is a Chinese Corvette, and it's electric.
It's electric. Looky.
So, I guess you can buy a new 58 Corvette that looks terrible. Oh, Chinese cars in Mexico. I didn't know that. The cars should not be purchased on principle alone for copying everything. Yeah, look at that. They sort of made it look like a Corvette, but the proportions are all wrong. Why does Dean Stevenson give us balloons? Looks like a kid's Power Wheel. Maybe it'll catch fire. Yeah, and they're making them. I've seen, there's another one in the background right there. You can see it. It's red. And I've seen like pictures of them in China. I haven't been in China, but I've seen pictures of them all over. And the thing is, like, the proportions are all wrong. But it kind of is right. What did you do? Oh, you cut it open. There's no dinosaur in there. We're saving those seeds.
We're going to try and grow our own dino eggs.
Dean Stevenson says it looks great. I think that just is, it hurts my eyes to see that. Because it's all like bent, like.
It's really good. It tastes like,
Oh, you're eating it.
Try it. It's like cantaloupe.
Why won't that go away? I can't make that go away. Oh, I know what I think. I want it to go away. I want that Corvette to go away. There. Like antelope?
Tastes like antelope, yes.
That's better than cantaloupe.
Well, it's ripe.
That is really good.
Yeah. But your sugar is bad.
Dan, it is a dino melon. D-I-N-O. I guess that's dino. Could be Dino. But they named it that because it looks like a dinosaur egg.
How did they know what dinosaur eggs look like?
Oh, I don't know. Somebody decided it looked like a dinosaur egg and called it dino
right.
melon. So, that thing is sweet. Mm-hmm. I'm a diabetic. I'm not sure I should be eating that. Mm-hmm. I went to the doctor yesterday and
sugar was 260.
Don't tell anybody what my sugar was. It's terrible because I ate way all wrong the night before and it.
I made potato soup. I should not have done that.
Well, it's okay to make potato soup. It's not okay for me to eat it. You eat that. It's good. It's okay if you eat it in front of me. Let's see. Remember those 50 Ford front ends they made to fit? Oh yes. I remember those. There was another one that was a front end. It was a bullet nose Studebaker front end to put on the last generation of El Caminos. A dinosaur. Is that what that is? A dinosaur.
It's a dinosaur egg.
Dying Breed Garage. Hi, Buff and Kim. Hello. Man, I've talked to you before. Yeah, we had a real good conversation about some friends from Cuba that came in that I had friends back in the 60s that got away from Castro's Cuba. And it was a very interesting conversation. Because people dig them eggs up all the time. Really? I feel sorry for those people that bought that. Oh my God, 260. You know, Dying Breed Garage, I need to show him. Where's my Cougar? I'll put this back up again because this is the car that everybody talks about. This is the car that I had in whenever it was, 1979, I think. And that's me when I was 24 years old. Vanity Saurus. You should be on Big Mike's diet, just meat. You know what? I can eat meat. And tonight, I made, what is going on up there? What happened? Something happened up there. Okay. When you have a lot of screens, all of a sudden something strange will come up. I made tacos tonight, but I can't have the tortillas. So I just took the big pieces of lettuce, folded them in half. That was my taco shell. And I put everything in there. And it was really good. And I could eat the meat. I can eat the cheese. I can eat the lettuce. But I got to get my sugar under control again. I'm going to kill myself with high sugar. With high sugar if I'm not careful. So I gotta be careful. Or Steve's keto diet. You want me to kill that? Why?
Sorry, y'all. Sorry.
Very cool. But that was my 67 Cougar, 327 Chevy board, I think 60 over, so it's 337 inches, a cross ram manifold, and had a turbo 400, and I don't know, it just was a fun car. I'll show you the engine. Ooh. Yeah, that's the engine. You remember, all the older people remember those green Flexolite fans. Flour tortillas I can't have, and they turn into sugar. Yeah, you know what I like are the little tiny street taco corn tortillas, but even that, it just runs my sugar up. And I've got blood pressure issues and sugar issues, so it's just got to eat differently than what I've been eating. And luckily, I like salads with cucumbers and lettuce and tacos like that. And
I'm trying to take care of him, people. I got him broke from his fast food habit, and we eat at home now, so it's better.
When I was out running all over the country working for a defense contractor, it was really hard to eat correctly, and I eat in restaurants and fast food, and it's just bad. And Kim we were kind of sharing the cooking. We still do, but she definitely cooks more than I do. And I keep the kitchen clean at least most of the time. So that's kind of our deal. And then she got a gas grill, for nothing. It had some issues, but it's fixed. And she uses it, and so we grill chicken a lot of times, or burgers sometimes. What did you do? You changed back to the, you're moving stuff around.
Yeah.
That's the Lost Fire. That's what we got,
yeah, we try and...
Oh, thanks. Dying Breed Garage just subbed. Check out also, and I usually put a link on my videos for Kim's channel. You can sub to hers too, and you can see what she's doing with her Dart. She took the whole suspension out of the rear of that Crossfire, that burnt up Crossfire, and narrowed it 5 inches so it'd fit under the Dart, and she's going to put the whole independent suspension under the Dart, and then put the disc brakes up front on the Dart. So that it's a 66 Dart, so that ought to be a pretty good handling 66 Dart when she's finished with it. Oh yeah, Dean. So it's the best way to look after him. Yeah, home cooking is way better.
Charcoal is too much work.
Here's what happened. Uncle Tony gave me a charcoal grill. So we were using it. But, you got to buy charcoal. And then Kim bought something else, and they gave her a new scratch and dent gas grill. It's a really nice gas grill. Didn't have any knobs. So you have to use pliers or put sheet metal or something to turn the knobs. But she uses that gas grill on. Put it on the front of the Valiant. Put what on the front of the Valiant? Put what on the front of the Valiant?
The
Don't
George
know.
Foreman grill?
I don't know. What are they talking about? Oh, what did I miss? What did I miss?
I guess what I do like know. Charcoal.
It scrolled up and I missed it.
George we go Foreman to grill. His son's house and he makes.
Oh.
He has a smoker that is amazing. Amazing.
My son has a charcoal grill and a charcoal smoker, and he's one of these guys that he's a chef extraordinaire. And so when we go over there, it's always good.
Yeah, if we got charcoal going, we'd have to be cooking for a group of people or make a bunch of meals ahead of time on it.
Very cool. By the way, cinnamon with your coffee helps with your sugar levels. You know how much coffee I drink? About once a year I'll have a cup of coffee. And maybe I need to do that. I don't know. I'm a tea drinker, a green tea drinker. And then I drink dumb stuff like...
This is not medical advice.
This is like... Shouldn't drink that, but it's good,
It's a sugar-free
And I'm cheap, so it's $1 for 2 liters. So this beer mug is not dark beer. It's fake Diet Coke. Yeah, check her channel out. And if you go back and look at some of her videos, you'll see her monkey bike. And we were talking about this earlier. She wanted to mill the head on her monkey bike, and she took a piece of wood, made it 90 degrees, took the head off, took the valves out, screwed the head onto the wood with some drywall screws, and took a circular saw and just lopped 100 thousandths off the head, put it back on the monkey bike, put it back together, put it on the monkey bike, first pull, it starts up, and she rode around with a high compression head. Hot ticket for lighting
Never
off.
had an issue with the head sealing. Gasket's been good since.
The hot ticket for lighting off stubborn charcoal is a map. Yeah, of course. That's how I start when I start we've got a wood stove in the shop this year, so it's nice and warm in there, but I start that with a torch, just because it's easy, because that's what Americans do, is they start stuff with
Mexican spec. If it gives you a headache, you're probably allergic to the artificial sweetener.
The gasoline, I don't want to use gasoline in a enclosed thing. I lost a bunch of facial not entirely using gas. Yeah. We spent a lot of time in Uncle Tony's shop, and he goes around with those map torches, and he's always lighting his cigarettes with them. It's like flame like this. It's like lighting his cigarettes. All right. That Diet Coke using bad headache. Yeah. I was kidding, though. Speaking of that, I think I need to burn some stuff tonight. It isn't windy. Man, what's it like down there right now? I bet it's warm. I don't like drinking anything with caffeine, but if you put a shot of Amaretto on a glass of soda water, makes good Dr. Pepper substitute. Oh, that I believe. There's another thing. I like mixed drinks, but I'm a diabetic. I can't be doing that anymore. And I drink once in a while. Who was it got me started? Colleen at No Name Nationals the first year got me started with that Budweiser with no alcohol.
The Zero?
Budweiser Zero. And that tastes just like Bud Light. It's like a non-alcoholic beer that actually tastes like beer. So occasionally I buy a few of those, but mostly I just can't drink anymore because it's my sugar just goes off scale. It's not good for me. And I don't really miss it that much. I mean, I miss all the good food, but it's not a big deal. We're also on Thrifty and cold water. What's Thrifty? Thrifty. That's something from down under. During the day, it's warm. It's cooler at night. That's how it is here. It's like 65 degrees here today, and it'll be like in the 40s tonight, I think.
Yeah, it's 44 now.
It's 44, okay. I used to light the bong with a torch. My pot smoking days when a lighter wasn't around. I enjoyed chatting with you when you used to do the Sunday Night Lives with UTG. You know, I did those for, I think, almost a year and a half, but then I got called back to work. A defense contractor wanted me to come back, and I have a hard time turning that down. And it was supposed to be for, I don't know, 30 to 90 days, and it ended up being 2 years. So by the time I got done running all over the country with that project, it turned into a big project. So after I got done with that project, you know, Tony was doing something else. So I don't know. I'm not doing that with Tony anymore. Got my own channel going. Although we're supposed to go down there to Tony's because he gave me the turbo and the intercooler and all the engine parts. So got the Valiant running. We're going to rebuild the front end on it. Then he's an hour and a half south of here, hour and 45 minutes south of here. We'll drive down there and we'll do the turbo down there on Tony's channel because that was the deal. Would you believe that a 71 Ford Galaxy is still for sale here? Really? Man, I love 71 Ford Galaxies. I don't know why.
Your money.
Well, see, Mexican Spec has all the good cars. They're down there in dry, no rust Mexico, and they're old and they're good. And you know, I bought stuff from Mexican Spec. He's a good guy. You buy a car from him, you'll get it. It'll be what he says it is. Yeah. What time is it? I think we're getting there.
We're up over 2 hours.
Yeah, we're a minute over 2 hours. So, hopefully the background's better than it was last week. Last week we just had a pink wall. This week we can put pictures and all this fun stuff. That's our yard. That's the yard behind the shop. And that's where I like to mow. When I'm in a not good mood, I get on my mower and I just ride around back there, and then I'm in a good mood. And then the grass is mowed and I feel good. So in the summertime, I got to mow twice a week because it grows so fast. In the wintertime, it just looks like that. Doesn't grow at all.
And I'm trying to start a Discord server. If anyone's interested in joining the Discord server, and then we can all exchange photos and we can discuss photos from our own Discord server. Like on next week's stream, I was thinking something like that might be fun. So yeah, if you want to show off your ride and you can tell people about it, or we can talk about it.
So
judge your ride.
We're over 2 hours, so I think we're gonna call it an evening. Hey, Buff and Kim, sorry I missed your last live while it was live. Want to wish you a belated happy birthday anyway. Also loved your denim laminate. I can't even say that. Denim laminate. Maybe you should patent it before. You know what? My whole thing right now, I worked with all the best materials, defense contractor, building airplanes. And now I can use some of those same skills with stuff that is not the best materials. And an old pair of jeans, cut it up and used it on both sides of a piece of foam, and it was very strong. And talk about cheap. Those were jeans I was going to throw away. Instead, I made a part out of it. So, I don't know if I'd make anything like an airplane wing out of it, but, you could probably build like a battery box out of it. It'd be plenty strong enough. It would never rust. I can create Discord. Oh, just like, okay. I set up shipping, ship to Florida so the car can be picked up there with no problems. You know what? Mexican Spec will get the job done. He sent me stuff. It's exactly what he said it was. Good quality stuff. The cars I've seen there's a guy that did a review with he bought a Volkswagen Beetle from Mexico from Mexican Spec. So, I mean, that's a place to get good old cars.
Anybody who's leaving, thank you very much.
Yep, thank you. We're going to call it a night.
Thank you for coming and hanging out or stopping in or whatever you could do. We're going to try and do this. You want to be a half hour later next week because we're trying not to overlap other people
Well,
in our community.
what should we do? Should we go 7 or 7:30? Does that screw things up? See, I thought we picked Tuesday night because nobody else is on Tuesday night, but I guess somebody is on Tuesday night. I don't know.
Do you want to start at 7 or 7:30? Let's tell them.
Okay, let's start at 7:30.
Okay.
My buyer is close to you in Tennessee. Oh, yeah, we're in Middle Tennessee. Okay, take care. See you at 7:30. 7:30 next week. 7:30 Central Time, whatever time that is where you are. Central Time in the U.S. And we'll put it up early enough so you can see it. A few hours ahead. Take care, everybody. Good night. Do you know how to shut this off?